Hey Sunrise, it's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we unpack Genesis 26, verse 34, all the way to 28:9. So there's a lot of text to cover as we look at this main section of the end of Isaac and Rebekah's story and the beginning of Jacob's big narrative story. And so into this text, we are opening with the marriages of Esau, his first marriages to the Hittite women, and then the book will close with us, this section will close with his marrying Ishmael's daughter. So the first question is just, what is the significance of those bookends? How are they different? What are the different implications of them? And how do you see the last one, the marrying of Ishmael's daughter, flow from the whole of the text, how we get to that ending? And then into it, in the middle, we have this very common, understood story. We've heard it a lot, but maybe today you'll see it a little differently as we unpack God's work in spite of what we see as not great characters. What do you make of Rebekah's decisions? Are they honorable? Are they righteous? Are they sinful? Are they manipulative? What does that teach us about her? What do we learn about Isaac? What are some of the negative things that we see him doing here? And then what is, we could say, is some of the positive things we see? What do we learn about Jacob and Esau along the way here? But ultimately, the big picture, of course, is what do we learn about God's work in this text? What is this text trying to inform us about who God is and God's sovereignty? Because again, there's a lot that you can unpack through this text, but that's one of the important parts. And so we see the different ways that the text takes, and we have the manipulation back and forth between the two. And then, of course, you get the blessing given to Jacob. Now, what's the significance of the wording of the blessing? Because again, as we work through the text, it was originally supposed to be given to Esau. Because as we work through the text, Isaac is a little shady here. But this was originally meant for Esau. And what are some of the things that stand out in this blessing? And then through this, we then see the anger of Esau. What do we learn from Esau's reaction? What does that remind you of? What does it also begin to motivate the future of our text and how that event pushes the narrative further? As you begin to unpack some of the family dynamics of this family and their inner workings. And ultimately, we then see Rebekah here creating a plan to send Jacob off to save him, but how short-sighted even her plan is. So through this, we do see the fact that no one gets away unscathed. Everyone will suffer the consequences of these actions for a long period of time. But before we end, there's just one more thing I really want us to highlight and spend some time in, and that is the words of Isaac at the end of this chapter, or the end of our text here. So in verses 3 and 4 of chapter 28, Isaac gives the Abrahamic blessing. So we have the blessing that he gave to him that was meant to be for Esau in the tent. But then when he sends Jacob off to find a wife and to get married, he gives him a very specific blessing that echoes the Abrahamic blessing. So when you hear this blessing in this verse, what is the significance of that based on everything we've seen so far? And what does that teach us about God? And again, what are we learning about Isaac in this moment? Because this is it for Isaac and Rebekah. This is kind of their farewell. We won't see much else of them as the story now shifts to Jacob. And then again, we'll see Esau a little bit later on. So I hope you spend some time. There's so much to unpack. We'll hear more in Sunday morning, but there's a lot that can be worked through, specifically in small group this week. So I hope that you'll spend some time yourself in the text, write some questions, think about it. What is God teaching us through his word? Hope to see you guys on Sunday, and again, small groups this week to really unpack some of the great truths that are being revealed here. See you guys.